Our bureaucracy is broken, and I'm really grateful that you're all here to be part of this because it matters. Participation matters. Having people show up and pay attention to what's happening to our lands and in Washington, D.C. really matters. In the early 2000s, Washington County stepped up to be the poster child for cooperation when it comes to public lands management and access. Washington County went to the bargaining table with environmental groups, with the federal government, with state agencies, with all of the stakeholders, and worked out a compromise bill. It was called the Washington County Lands Bill, and it became part of OPLMA, the 2009 Omnibus Lands Bill, signed by President Obama. This is not a right-wing attempt at limiting any environmental protections on land. In that bill, the Red Cliffs NCA, National Conservation Area, was created. In the same bill, the Secretary of Interior was ordered to work with Washington County and St. George City to find a route for a northern corridor, a route from east to west in Washington County that's been part of the county's transportation plan for decades. That was one of the things they bargained for in this bill. Signed into law, passed by Congress. That was in 2009. It's 2024, and we're still sitting here talking about this bill. In early 2016, we had a congressional field hearing at the Dixie Center and asked BLM why their new resource management plan didn't have any good alternatives for a northern corridor route. And we were told that they were told to consider it, and they had considered it and decided that they didn't want to do it. That isn't what agencies are supposed to do in response to laws passed by Congress. So here we are again, talking about the same thing. We got a record of decision at the end of the last administration allowing for that route. And as soon as we got a new administration, they immediately repealed the record of decision, and now we're in a lawsuit. Also, the people in this county can have a route that's been part of their transportation plan for decades, for which they bargained. They came to the table in good faith and bargained for this route. Additionally, there's a lot of information out there about what a road through an NCA would do, how it should be illegal, how it would be harmful to tortoises. Even though Congress, who has the authority over public land, decided in the same piece of legislation that a conservation area and a route were compatible, we're still having this argument with bureaucrats, unelected bureaucrats who don't come hold these hearings, who aren't hearing from you, who aren't accountable, who you can't vote out of office. To make this work, the county worked with the state institutional trust lands and with local governments, with the state, and offered up what we call Zone 6, a 3,000-acre piece of land here in Washington County that has as dense of tortoise habitat as any tortoise habitat that's been preserved since the 1990s, in exchange for a road that would impact about 150 acres. So 3,000 acres to mitigate for 150 acres. And that 150 acres that would be part of the right-of-way would have culverts, would be porous, would allow tortoises through. And we have good science on Red Hills Parkway that shows that tortoises will use culverts. They'll move back and forth underneath the road. It will not destroy their habitat. The county's been more than generous in offering up mitigation for this. And now, what people who came to that bargaining table and pretended to bargain in good faith are asking for is they want the 3,000 acres, and they also don't want to get a route. I mean, this is what's broken about our bureaucracy. That is the definition of insanity. They want us to pay for the road and not get the road and still have the congestion on our surface streets in St. George City. That's why we're here having a field hearing today, because we've got to be able to hold our bureaucracies accountable when they're not doing the will of the people. Congress is elected by the people and is accountable to the people. Agencies are not. And when Congress tells an agency what to do, their job is to act, not to drag their feet, not to play politics, not to use rules and obfuscation to keep from doing the things that Congress has asked them to do.